Welcome to another episode of Glitter and Garbage. I'm here with one of my favorites, a glitterati favorite, comedian, podcast host, movie reviewer, movie expert.
Such a rare designation to have all three of those magic tricks under one hat.
The voice of a generation.
I'm not exactly this generation's Kurt Loder, but I'm getting there. That's all I really want to be in life now. I want to be the old guy on MTV.
Yeah.
That people listen to because they're like when you saw Kurt Loder and you were a kid, right?
Oh,
you come
Kurt.
on MTV. He was already like the old guy on MTV.
Yeah.
But when you and I were kids,
right.
But you'd watch it and either he was giving like an MTV news update or he was just doing some other thing, and you're like, look, I know that this guy. He's got like a teacher vibe,
right.
But I know he did something really cool back in the day.
Yeah, like he did drugs, you know?
You knew that he had stories to tell.
Right.
And so like he wasn't going to get all of our hip lingo.
Yeah.
You know, Kurt Loder wasn't walking around with a slap-on bracelet.
No. He was by the books. He was to the point.
He didn't have a hypercolor thong like you and I did,
no.
but he could relate to us kids.
He could. He broke through to the kiddos, just like I think you did with that voice. It is Mark Ellis,
God,
you guys.
you're good.
Look at that.
That was really good.
Look at that.
I took you on the off-ramp, and I'm like, well, do we go to Arby's? Oh, no, they have a Bojangles. I forgot. We're in the South. And then you're like, honey, we're going to get back on the highway. What a couple we make.
Look, we do make a great couple. People have been saying this, for all of the ages.
I talk about my boyfriend all the time.
Yeah. You guys, what a fun day. Thanksgiving is next week. It's this week. This episode is coming out
Check
on Monday.
Check your calendar, Marino. Well, you're not traveling anywhere, though, right?
I'm not. So it's just another day. You're traveling.
I'm traveling. I'm going to Florida. And, it's exciting because I get to see the family, and I genuinely enjoy my family, which I know a lot of people, particularly in my line of work, and our line of work, can't say.
They have
But
trauma.
you enjoy your family as well.
Len is in town as we speak.
Is he really?
Yes, he came to the Laugh Factory with me last night. We went to dinner. We had a blast. One of the comics, first of all, PK, the comic, gave Len a shout out during the show.
Perfect.
He was so taken with him. And then another comic reached out to me today and said, funny stuff. Also, your dad is so great.
The coolest.
Yeah. So Lenny was really stealing my thunder, if I'm being honest.
You might have the Kurt Loder of dads.
I think I do.
Yeah.
I totally do.
I've always looked at Len like that. When I met him at Comedy Works, he was just like a guy you just want to kind of shoot the shit with.
Yeah.
And Lorna comes in and it's even better.
Yeah.
And then obviously I'm a huge fan of the family now because, Betsy and I are, well, I guess we can make the announcement. Betsy and I are courting in my head. I'm just getting down on one knee. Next time I see her, I'm just doing it. I'm just going for it because, look, I don't necessarily want a relationship with anybody.
No,
okay?
you don't. You were pretty adamant about not being tied down.
Yeah, I went from newly broken up to just enjoying single and just kind of playing the field. And then I'm now transitioning into this like Luke Skywalker in The Force Awakens kind of phase where it's like we don't even know where Luke is. Yeah. Nobody's seen him in 30 years. And he's just living on this weird island, and it's him and like 5 frog nuns that walk around. And that's really that's his life. That's his day to day.
Yeah.
There's not even the threat of a relationship.
No.
So I don't necessarily want it, but I would like to feel the pressure of proposing to somebody.
Yeah.
I think that'd just be like a fun day because you and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
When I don't like dating, like having a girlfriend, or God forbid,
yeah, but, don't even say it.
But I love the act of going on a date. Like, I love waking up that morning and being like, all right, I worked out hard all week. I'm in good shape. And now I gotta do some things. I gotta go to the dry cleaners, and I get to take a nice lady out for a nice meal. Yeah. And we'll see what happens. Like, you never know what's gonna happen, and it's exciting.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to get down on one knee just to see what happens.
Just to see.
Yeah, and I feel like Betsy's the right.
Betsy's the one. I mean, why not? She looks amazing. You guys, Betsy is my aunt, obviously. Betsy's Lenny's younger sister.
Yeah.
And she's hot, Wait, did I tell you about... I think I did, but I don't know that I told this story on here. So Jeremy Piven, did I tell you this?
This is what I know, and then you can fill in the blanks. Is it Piven was in Denver the same time you were in Denver?
Yes, I was.
And obviously Betsy and I have a house there.
Yes.
And I think it was her birthday. And that's all I know of the situation.
Okay, so Betsy had, I believe I've talked about it. I was in Denver doing some shows. Betsy also had a big birthday party that weekend. She was turning 60. And again, she looks amazing. People literally were coming up to me thinking I was Betsy. That's how young she looks.
If I have a birthday party next year, and people come up to me and they say, "You look so good for 60."
Yeah.
I will be like, "Thank you."
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I saw online, we know Jeremy Piven through stand-up. I see online that he's in Denver. He's like, who else is in Denver? Because, when you're a comic and you're in another town and another comic's there, you might hang out with people that you might not normally hang out with in LA, right?
Yeah, because it's like, hey, well, I'm back at Residence Inn, and they haven't restocked the vending machine, so who wants to hang?
Exactly. So I was like, you know what? Betsy's having this incredible party. I mean, this party was like next level. It's 2 sushi bars, multiple open bars, karaoke, a line dancing instructor came in. He may have just been a man on drugs with a cowboy hat. But
I'll be honest, Betsy, up to this point, I was just kind of joking. Like, you and I had a good time. Like we met. It was like a funny thing. I'm going to get the ring.
Yeah,
I'm just going to get the ring, and I'm just going to hang on to it for a while.
You got to get the ring.
Yeah.
But I asked, I hit up Jeremy Piven, and I'm like, hey, and of course, Ari from Entourage, if you guys aren't familiar with him.
And the best friend he was Apex best friend in a movie for, I'd say, a good 8-year run.
Oh, totally.
In any rom-com, if you needed a best friend, Jeremy Piven was the first phone call.
He was your guy. He was. Great actor, won multiple Golden Globes for his turn as Ari in Entourage. Now, I should also preface this by saying Entourage holds a special place in my family's heart because both my cousin, Sarah, Betsy's daughter, and I, when we were having like semi-breakdowns in Los Angeles, having just moved here and like, what is life? What's going on? Like a quarter-life crisis. We both got obsessive about buying and watching Entourage DVDs.
Yeah, okay.
So we just I ended up with just this incredible collection of Entourage DVDs. And it's just, I was like, it would be so funny and special if I invited Mr. Piven himself. I thought it would be so funny. So I'm like, hey, do you want to come? My aunt's, I'm in Denver. I'm doing Comedy Works. My aunt is having this great party. It's going to be huge if you want to come. And he just goes, did you just invite me to your aunt's birthday party? And I was like, I did.
You shot your shot.
I shot my shot.
You were asking what people are up to in Denver. I'm just giving you an answer. Now, you and I know Jeremy from stand-up. So here's my relationship.
Yeah.
with him. I've met him a few times. We've exchanged pleasantries. How you doing? Sports teams. If he sees me, he'll be like, hey, what's up, man? I don't know if he knows the name.
Okay.
He knows the voice because we've done stand-up together.
Right.
I don't know if he knows the name. He knows, I believe y'all are on first name basis.
We are on first name basis, and we follow each other on Instagram. We've been on a couple shows together.
There you go.
Yes.
So, and also, Betsy.
Yes.
This isn't like a typical, my auntie's having a gathering. This is Aunt effing Betsy birthday party.
Exactly. It's an Aunt Betsy birthday party. So I invite him. He's like, or did you just invite me to your aunt's party? And then I text Mitch. I'm like, Jeremy just said this. Mitch goes, was that weird that I asked him? He goes, let me ask you, what would you say if Jeremy Piven said, do you want to come to my aunt's birthday party?
Blocked.
But it was a really good party. And
did he show up?
He did not show up. He had 2 shows, so it made... he was like, I'm honored to have been invited. But he did not come.
Still looks pretty good when you're checking into Aunt Betsy's party. And you look on the guest list, it's like, oh, we got some Hollywood celebs.
Yeah, we do.
Here.
Well, that's what I was like. I just wanted him to come and have my cousin Sarah be like blown away because we both had breakdowns and watched Entourage.
That's huge. Do me a favor though, if I get invited to an Aunt Betsy party, let me know if Piven's coming because I won't even bother showing up because it's not going to be. She already knows me. She met me.
Right.
And really, the best version of me is the first impression. Like when you meet me at a party and we get to have like a fun conversation. That's what Betsy and I got to hit it off for about 20 minutes. And then we see ourselves into the night separately.
Yeah.
And if I show up at the party again, it's like, oh, there's Mark again.
Yeah.
And oh my God, Jeremy Piven's here. So I don't want to follow Piven in that way.
Right. Okay, I'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, just keep me posted.
I would never do that
and
to you.
maybe not sushi next year. I don't want to get too picky. I mean, it's her party.
It's fine. So no
maybe some
sushi.
burgers.
Burgers would be good.
Some farm-based.
Some farm animals.
Some Coors Lights.
I mean, there's always Coors Light in Denver. It's Denver. Come on. Now, will there be Coors Light at your Thanksgiving table?
Yeah, Mom knows me pretty well. No, my mom, she'll probably have an open Coors Light in a koozie waiting for me when I get off the plane at the airport.
God, I love
Here,
it.
honey, I know how you like drinking.
I love it. I know how you love drinking. Not just the Coors Light, just anything to wet your guzzle.
My parents were so funny because, like, when I'd come home from college on, like, a winter break or something, even before I was 21, my mom would, like, kind of like she was breaking a rule. She was never the cool mom as far as, like, you kids are allowed to drink here. There was no drinking. There was none of that stuff.
Right.
And then, you know, once you become college age and you go to college and you prove to your parents, hey, I can, like, wipe my own ass away from you for 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, you're still paying for most of this crap, but I can kind of handle myself in the world okay.
Yeah.
You come back and my mom coming up like, you know, honey, if you want a beer, you can have a beer.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what are you doing to me right now, lady? This feels like a trick. It feels like you're trying to get me into, you're trying to get dirt on me or something.
Yeah.
But no, they were just cool with it. So first time I actually had a beer in front of my parents, I used my fake ID. I was showing off.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was showing off.
It's like Betsy was around or something.
Do you remember that restaurant, Daryl's? It was a chain restaurant. It was like a rib joint, but it was like a chain restaurant along the lines of like an Olive Garden.
Okay, and it was just called Daryl's?
Outback Steakhouse. Yeah, Daryl's.
Daryl's?
Yeah. Justine, sometimes they name restaurants after the first name, and it tends to be going, oh, well, Papa John's doing okay. I mean, not personally, but...
I mean, but he's got the Papa in front of it. If it's not like Daddy Daryl's, you know?
There's got to be a guy named Arby that's just like, man, I really did something with my... Wendy's?
Wendy's is good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Daryl's. You said it like it was very... I've never heard of Daryl's. I'm sorry.
Well, you missed out because they'd bring you a basket, not of bread, but of these giant oversized saltine crackers you could munch on.
Really?
So, waitress is coming around and like she's taking, and like my brother's there, my sister's there, my cousin, a couple of her friends, like a big Wake Forest family gathering. And I'm sitting in between my parents, and I just casually say, I'll have a Killian's Irish Red.
Yeah.
And again, like it's such a not like a I'm just trying to get drunk order.
Right.
Like I didn't say I'll have a Natty Light. I didn't even have to use my fake ID.
Oh my God, a Natty Light. Can you imagine ordering that at a restaurant?
I have never attempted, but no, I probably have. I probably have. I probably have.
See, we didn't have Natty. We were a Keystone Light or Coors Light, but if you know, times were tough, it was more Keystone.
Yeah, now my college girlfriend, her family from Florida, they were big Keystone Light people.
Okay.
And I remember looking at Keystone Light because they used to have that great ad campaign, the Never Bitter Beer Face.
Oh, yeah.
With nobody knows this person's name maybe, but you know that bitter beer face.
Yes, absolutely.
Which isn't really a thing.
That's not a thing. Who's ever had a beer and made that face?
You drink an IPA and you're still fine.
You're fine. Now, I brought you on today because I haven't done my job. in this rambling of lightly doing a flyby of your aunt and then telling war stories from fake IDs. That's not why I'm here? Oh, okay. It's always why you're here.
I know why I'm here.
Yes.
Actually, as of this recording, that's the big news. It's not really big news.
Oh, yeah.
But my special came out this past summer, Alive and Well, and now it's dropping in audio form thanks to the good folks at All Things Comedy, 800-Pound Gorilla Records.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, amazing. So you guys buy it, download it, watch it, all the things.
Just tell whatever your favorite Sirius XM comedy channel is, tell them to keep spinning Mark Ellis.
It keeps spinning it.
Because it keeps my dog fed.
I love it. And Molly deserves to be fed.
Boy, does she eat.
Those dogs
She's
eat.
21 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And she eats more than me.
Wow. Larry eats a lot.
Yeah. I would say I don't know where it goes. I know where it goes.
But you can see.
It goes right in my hand.
Yeah.
Right in a bag, but still. You know, I know.
There it goes.
I see where it goes.
You see it.
Yeah.
Now, wait. So, and your new special is called
Alive and Well.
Okay, great. Because you didn't die.
There you go.
There you go.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Working on it.
Working on it. Now.
But you had me on today for another reason.
I did have you on because you invited me on your fantastic podcast, Rotten Tomatoes is Wrong.
This is what friends do.
We
trade podcasts.
Yes, we do. And exactly. We don't hang out otherwise. We just go on each other's podcasts.
No, and I felt bad because like I couldn't believe that you were sitting in that studio and we've never had you on before. I just assumed that somewhere back in the day we were talking about a Scream. And I'm like, of course we had Justine on, and we never did. So you'll be back soon.
Oh no, I love it. I have pretty bad taste in movies, so I obviously will probably have I'm very curious to see what your listeners will think because I'm sure they have good taste in movies. But I argued that Rotten Tomatoes is wrong about a classic Thanksgiving movie, Son-in-Law.
An all-time Thanksgiving movie.
I think it's the greatest Thanksgiving movie of all time, as you said. Like, number one, not just like one of the greats.
It's a great holiday movie.
It's just
I'm not even going to limit it to a month. It's any holiday movie. Son-in-law's in the discussion.
I think so.
Right?
You have Miracle on 34th Street, you have Home Alone, and then you have Son-in-Law. Like, that's just the trifecta.
That's kind of the reverse way to ramp up to Christmas, because like you start with Son-in-Law, and then Miracle on 34th Street is a Thanksgiving movie.
Yes.
But we're kind of, we're working with Kris Kringle. We're trying to get a list to his people.
Yes.
And then Home Alone.
Yep.
Full on Christmas.
Full Christmas. Now, last year, I believe we did a Christmas movie episode.
We did, yes.
And so I was like, what better way to celebrate the holidays this year than to just start as soon as possible and talk Thanksgiving movies?
Love it.
I feel like a lot of them get forgotten.
Yeah, I mean, Thanksgiving, the holiday, gets celebrated as far as people getting together and having either family Thanksgivings or Friendsgivings, and we have the food and the football and all that stuff. But as far as like the movies based around it are few and far between as far as the ones you can just name off the top of your head.
Right.
Like, for instance, Addams Family Values is just known as a classic 90s comedy.
Yeah.
And one of the few comedy sequels that may be even better than the first one.
I agree.
They're both so great.
They're very good.
But that's a Thanksgiving movie, technically, because they act out the very first Thanksgiving.
They do.
At the summer camp play.
They do. It's interesting to see, and I just want to give a quick shout out to my Wednesday tattoo.
Look at that.
I believe this is actually from Addams Family Values when she's standing on the. Yep. But
that's like it's iconic. Just that silhouette. It's like the NBA logo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wednesday is the Jerry West of the Addams family.
Absolutely is. I love that you think I would know who any sports players in the.
I'll send you a text.
Thank you. I'll
send you details.
Send me the details.
Later.
I only know Travis Kelce.
Did you watch Winning Time at all?
I watched
HBO
an
show?
episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I would say Jerry West was the really angry guy who yells and throws a lot of stuff, but there's like 10 of them.
There's a lot of them in that. Okay, so Addams Family Values, I also think of as kind of a Halloween movie too, because they're kind of goth, and so it's really like transcends all holidays. But that is one that doesn't necessarily come right to mind. And I was actually in preparation for today because I prepared. I looked up a list of 60 movies, and there were some weird ones on there.
Yeah. So Rotten Tomatoes, my teammates at Rotten Tomatoes, they do these editorial lists every holiday, and they have like, here's the movies you can't miss, and some movies that you didn't know took place in there. So among all the Thanksgiving movies that you saw that you weren't aware of were Thanksgiving movies, you never made the connection.
Yeah.
For me, it was, I just kind of forgot, and I revisit these movies all the time, this franchise. Rocky 1 and 2 are taking place around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and I also saw Paul Blart Mall Cop was listed on the Thanksgiving.
Another holiday classic.
Like, I was like, what is the criteria for making it a Thanksgiving movie? Is it just like any reference to turkey or any reference to Thanksgiving?
I think it's anything that is around, because we should have a separate category now. Like, we're already doing like, is it Halloween or is it Thanksgiving or is it Christmas?
Right.
We need a fourth one, and we need Black Friday movies. Because I haven't revisited Paul Blart in a minute since I saw it and had to review it in the theater. It wasn't like, it was whatever, but
I paid to see it in the theater.
I think the thing is, I should invite you to the screening. I'm sorry. I think the thing
if it's garbage, invite me.
With Paul Blart, I think it's like he's a mall cop or mall security guard, and it's like the toughest time of the year because everybody's rushing to the mall. So it's Christmas anticipation, like Miracle on 34th Street. And that's the only time you're ever going to hear Paul Blart Mall Cop and Miracle on 34th Street in the same breath. But there you go.
See, this is why I had you on. Because you can make the connection from Paul Blart Mall Cop to Miracle on 34th Street.
And we didn't even need Kevin Bacon.
No, we didn't. God, you're good.
He's always welcome.
He is. He's always welcome. Yeah. You know, he chose my headshot to play a dead girl on, was it The Closer, I think?
That hair flip was so perfect. I don't even know if you knew how great that was, because you're like, not bragging, but I got to play a dead girl on The Closer.
I did. He looked at me and he was like, that's the dead girl.
You played a corpse?
I played a corpse.
Okay.
I played a dead, but I literally just had to like lay there very still.
How long ago was this?
This was like No, this was like probably 2000. I don't even know if I was doing stand up yet at this point.
Oh, really?
This was when I was probably 22 or 21.
Okay. Are you fully recovered from whatever the shoot was and like your feelings about it and how you looked on camera?
Yes.
Because I know we all get in our head about that. Because I have a question to ask you.
Yes.
I don't want to trigger anything.
Well, you know what's funny? I never actually saw the episode.
Okay.
But someone recently was like, "Were you on? Was it the closer that it was the one that Kira Sedgwick was on?"
That was Kira Sedgwick. Yeah.
Okay,
and
great.
I know that because the NBA playoffs, I think at least the Western Conference playoffs are all on TNT. And so while I was watching that was when the Spurs were in their glory years and Tim Duncan was dominating and winning MVPs, and every other commercial break was Kira Sedgwick like with like the pantsuit and like crouching down and like looking at a thing and then like, what are we gonna do about it? Like kind of the David Caruso.
Yes.
You were one of the dead bodies.
I was one of the dead bodies, and I've never seen it. And then someone a couple months ago was like, "Were you on the closer? I saw a dead body that looked like you on the closer," and I've still never seen it. So I need to figure out what episode it was.
I'm just curious because this is like a hang up I have in movies. Like, I want to know if you gave it away that you weren't dead. Like was there a little blink? Was there a little like breath? Did you see the chest move up and down?
No, I think I was again like face down.
That's the way you want to be if you get cast for something like
and
that.
in grass. And I think you could see like the side of my face.
Okay.
And I just had to lay there for like a couple minutes, really still. But I did not give it away, I don't think. It was my first Hollywood job. I mean, Kevin Bacon himself, fucking Footloose, handpicked me from my headshot.
So when he's not acting, is he just casting for his wife's show?
I think he was directing that episode. Yeah. Times are tough, you know?
Yeah, Bacon's like, honey, I want to go dance in the barn. Not until you get through these headshots. We need a dead body. We see who wears the pantsuit in that family, don't we?
It's absolutely Kira.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is my Kevin Bacon story. But back to the Thanksgiving movie. I love.
Sorry. This is what happens.
This is what happens whenever I plan. I'm like, we'll make the episode about this. And then I'm like, let's talk about everything except the thing I planned. But what is your favorite Thanksgiving movie?
Thank you for that tee up because now this is like the hole in golf where like we've had some birdies, we've had some bogeys.
Yeah.
We're putting balls in water.
Yeah.
We're getting holes in one.
Yeah.
Now it's just time to par the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Win this damn tournament. What were we talking about again? No, you teed me up for the best Thanksgiving movie because everybody who's listening is probably shouting, hey, where Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
And that has to be my answer.
Yeah.
Because you have two all-time great comic actors in Steve Martin and John Candy at their absolute apex.
Yeah.
And the way that they play off each other, and I maybe have even told the story in the show before, but it's worth doing it again because you don't have the power to book a guest like Mike Black.
Yeah.
And hi, Mike. Mike Black was telling me he went to a screening of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles years ago in Santa Monica, and he's a great comic if you guys don't know Mike. And he and Steve Martin came up afterwards and they did like a Q&A with Steve Martin.
Yeah.
And somebody asked him about the scene where he's going back and forth with John Candy and he's just dressing down John Candy's character. They've been cooped up in this hotel room and he just gives him the business and he's telling him how disgusting he is. And John Candy's, you see his soul sink, but then he gives that great "I like me" speech.
Oh my God.
Steve Martin said about that scene, he's like, we were filming that scene, and I realized during the filming of that I was working with the best actor in the business at that time. Yeah. That's how good of an actor John Candy was.
I mean, he was incredible in that movie. And that movie literally makes me sob. Like,
weep.
Ugly cry. Oh, it's so tough. And the "I like me," like, just tugs at the heartstrings.
And it takes me so deep to a place emotionally. And then I'm laughing at the rental car stuff and the director of sales shower curtain ring division. That's one of those genius movies that somehow gets me to forget what's happening next. So I'm having such a good time with these guys every time I watch it that I forget the very end of the movie. And it just, you talk about, in a way, a beautiful but also a gut punch.
Yeah.
You can't have one without the other. It's so sad, but it's also so uplifting, and that's the best kind of holiday movie ending. You want both of those things intertwined.
I agree. It's funny, it's sentimental, it's sweet, it tugs at your heartstrings. It really does have everything in there for you.
Is that your favorite tea giving movie too?
No, I'm not joking when I say.
Oh, you're going son-in-law? Okay, that's fair. We both rewatched it. Justine and I watched it a combined 7 times this past week. I watched it once. I'll let you fill in the blanks on the math. And but I mean, we both saw it in theaters. You were like
I was
6
8.
when you saw it, and I was 12. And we went on a date. It was like, it was just that magical time in at least my life when you're looking at what college might be, or what being like, not even an adult. Like, you're not thinking, what's my job going to be? Am I going to have a wife? Am I going to have kids? You're just thinking how much fun it's going to be when I get that little boost of independence, and when I get to go off to college and I get to be away for the first time. Will I handle it? What kind of person am I going to be?
Right.
And then you see Carla Gugino's character, Becca, go off to college to this completely different landscape than the farm where she came from. She's in Southern California. She meets Paulie, played by Crawl, who's just the guy that everybody my age talked like and wanted to be like from the MTV Spring Break stuff. And it still brings back a lot of that nostalgia for me.
It is so great. And I had such a crush on Pauly Shore, which I mentioned on your podcast, but I mean, I don't think we had time to mention it enough. I wanted to spend a good 10 minutes on my crush on Pauly.
So like, did you rewind it a couple times when he's dancing around in his Steven Tyler PJs?
Yeah. I mean, he just, from the moment he fucking drops his head down from being like hoisted up by the ankles to the ceiling or wherever the fuck he is, I'm just like, I'm in. It's so good. I think the acting in it is really good. Everyone is a great actor in it. And it's a silly fish out of water story, but I firmly believe Rotten Tomatoes is wrong, but you should tune into that episode to hear all of our full thoughts on that.
Another one that I think you love that I think is more considered sort of a Christmas-y movie. It doesn't really claim a holiday, not at least in the way like Sleepless in Seattle will claim New Year's Eve. But the next Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan classic, You've Got Mail, is leading into Christmas, and that, I believe, gets credit as a Thanksgiving movie.
I saw that as well, which I was confused about because I recently rewatched Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail. I love You've Got Mail. I think it's far superior to Sleepless in Seattle.
That's a smoking hot take.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it is a hot take, but I don't know why. Sleepless in Seattle is so, first of all, you have this kid who's just like, Dad, get fucked, like he's just like trying to get his dad fucked. Sorry, that's what it is. He's like,
that was the elevator pitch for the movie. We got the guy from Big, and we got a kid who wants him to get fucked.
That was the ultimate.
Dad gets fucked.
Dad gets fucked.
Yeah, that may not play well in the Midwest. We might have to soften it a little bit.
No, but the kid is so weird to me. And also I have a weird thing because my grandmother was like, you look like the kid in Sleepless in Seattle. So I have probably a weird PTSD with that.
They couldn't. He was too hot at that time to play the dead body in the closer.
Exactly.
I guess can we cut Justine's hair and make him believe it's the kid from Sleepless in Seattle? I understand that. I liked how precocious that particular kid was. Sometimes they annoy the crap out of me, but other times I see a kid in a movie like The Family Man is a Christmas movie that I rewatch for the Rotten Tomatoes is wrong. Nick Cage and the daughter in his alternate universe family. She's such a sweetheart, and it's like I see a kid like that, and I'm like, all right, I don't want to raise you, but I could be roommates. I could, I guess, take you to school or whatever parents do.
Roommates.
Whatever.
I love you.
I don't want to get in. I don't want to change diapers, but like a kid who kind of know they're street smart. I can deal with that.
Sure.
Sleeping in Seattle is a much heavier movie than You've Got Mail is. Like the heaviest thing in You've Got Mail is this big bad corporate bookstore is coming in.
Yeah.
And if you watch that movie now, it's like, hey, I know it sucks that this big megastore Fox Books is taking over your mom and pop.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
They're going to get their comeuppance in a very different way.
Yeah.
About 25 years.
25 years.
So Sleeping in Seattle, the guy's wife dies of cancer, and it like opens with him like at the funeral, and it's just like this heavy thing.
Yeah.
A lot of levity too, but You've Got Mail. I love that movie because Meg Ryan and Greg Kinnear are a couple who we know from the start are not meant to be together.
Right.
Go back and watch that film, everybody, because they have the cleanest breakup.
Yeah.
And
they really do.
I've actually had real life breakups like that.
Really, I believe it.
You go out to a happy hour, you get a drink, and you look at each other and you're like, no, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, no. And then you can joke about it. It's like, well, okay. So who are you going to go after next?
Yeah.
It's the best.
It's great. And I also think, I'm sorry, I need Meg Ryan with like a pixie cut. The long hair in Sleepless in Seattle is just, it's not it for me.
That's what did it the whole time.
Well, also, they're not together ever in Sleepless in Seattle till the very end, you know?
They got close with that one beach scene.
They did with the beach scene, and she's just looking at him, and he's like, he feels like she's familiar, and you know, I just rewatched it, and Mitch kept coming in. You know, I was watching in the living room, and he kept like coming to grab a LaCroix or whatever, and he was just like, "This is a weird movie. Like, what's happening? This kid is trying to get his dad fucked. You know, it's very."
He's looking at the kid, and he's looking at you like.
Yeah. He's like, wait a minute,
honey.
I'm like, surprise. You've been dating a child star the whole time. But yeah, Sleepless in Seattle doesn't do it for me. I love You've Got Mail. Wait, off topic. Did you see the new Meg Ryan movie?
No.
I saw it in theaters.
Tell me about it.
So their acting is great. It's David Duchovny, Meg Ryan. They're trapped in an airport.
And that's the whole movie, right?
It's the whole movie. And the whole time I was like, this feels like it's based on a play. Sure enough, adapted from a play.
Yeah, it's like, it felt like one of those, from the trailer, it felt like one of the Ethan Hawke, the After Midnight or Before Midnight,
yes.
that kind of thing.
Yep. And, you know, again, their acting was great. It was very cheesy and corny and not good overall. But I have to say, the thing that really took me out of it, and I'm not trying to like shame anyone, but at one point Meg Ryan was like, well, I'm 49. And then he's like, me too. And in my mind,
okay.
I was like, you guys we know your age. You guys have been around for long enough. Like Meg Ryan was like closer to 49 and You've Got Mail than she, you know what I like? It just, she's like, I think 61, he's 63. And that just took me out of it. I was like, is that a joke? Like, and again, I'm not trying to age shame anyone, but I just didn't see the point in like, just make it your own age.
Yeah,
you know?
I know a lot of people like that. I know plenty of folks from all walks of life that are like that. Molly's mom is like that because she watched Goodfellas like a few years ago.
Yeah.
She was over with Molly.
Yeah.
And I had Goodfellas on because of course I did.
Of course.
I'm a bachelor.
Tuesday.
That's what we do.
It was Tuesday.
Yeah. It's on TV. What are we going to do? Turn it off?
Yeah, no.
Disrespect the
That's
mafia
rude.
like that?
No, thank you.
And it comes in and you see the first, I think that De Niro in that movie is playing a 29-year-old.
Yeah.
And so they say he's 29,
Yeah.
and she's like, what the hell
Yeah.
did they just... She made me rewind it.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I heard that wrong.
That honestly, I was like, oh, she must be joking about how that's what she tells people her age is. Like, that's where I went with it. Because I was like, there's no way they're both playing 49. Like, J-Lo is 53. Do you know what I mean? Nev Campbell is 50.
Right.
Like, that's...
You want somebody that's Meg Ryan or David Duchovny's age to play a convincing 49-year-old,
Yeah.
you call Betsy.
Exactly. 1,000%. She was walking around like she was Betsy. I just think, I don't know why they didn't just make him like, you know, late 50s, early 60s. But other than that, I thought they made great acting choices with the dialogue that was not always great.
Those are fun movies to watch, though, where it's just kind of like not necessarily small stakes when it comes to matters of the heart.
Yeah.
But it's not like we got to save everybody in a burning building. This is like Julia Louis-Dreyfus and James Gandolfini's last movie. They had like just a good, solid rom-com where it's just kind of like, hey, is this going to work out or not? And it was just kind of fun to follow that adventure. Because God knows I'm not going to do that in my real life.
Yeah, no,
I'm not going to pursue a woman in my real life.
No, you're not.
I need to watch how it works in movies to get the full human experience.
Exactly. And speaking of Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I went upstate to a friend's anniversary party this weekend to Guerneville.
Did you invite Jeremy Piven?
I did not invite Jeremy Piven.
Was he not performing?
He wasn't performing.
Okay.
But he's always invited.
he's always the plus one.
But Julia Louis-Dreyfus was on our plane.
Really?
In first class, Alaska Airlines, just fucking Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I almost shit my pants because she is the queen. I love her so much. I would buy she was 49, you know? I would.
I'd give her eternal 49.
I'd give her eternal 49 for sure.
I had my most famous plane sighting was years ago. I just done the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I get on a plane to fly from Charlotte direct back to LA, and I get on the plane, I'm walking through first class, and the entire dichotomy, the entire bell curve of hip hop was sitting in first class because over here I see LL Cool J.
What?
And then the next row back over here I see Ice Cube.
Oh my God.
And LL Cool J, they were both like playing their parts because Ice Cube just straight ahead, the Ice Cube scowl on his face, like do not talk to this guy.
Right.
LL Cool J is literally glad handing everybody as they come in, like, yeah, my mom will knock you out. Like, it was just like the coolest thing. So them doing what they do best.
Yes.
Pretty cool way to get on a plane.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I know. My jaw dropped, and I looked back at Mitch and gave him a look that he did not get. He was just like, what? I don't. So then I texted him. I was like, Julia is on our flight.
You're doing all these weird motions.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
make you look like a crazy person.
And she's like right in front of me, and I'm trying to be subtle so that he sees, and I did.
It's easier just to point, Elaine.
Yeah, Elaine. Oh my God, I died. And what's crazy is two nights earlier, someone said I reminded them of her at the improv anniversary party.
There you go.
And I said, thank you. She is 30 years older than me, but thank you. Well, I keep getting mistaken for 60-year-old women, a very attractive 60-year-old women.
You get mistaken, and she's had an amazing run of success. Like, she's unworldly great on Veep. And a bunch of movies in between and stuff. I mean, she's in Christmas Vacation.
Oh, she's so good.
But I think a lot of people still, we just have that thing, like when we watch Friends, they're all eternally that age.
I agree.
And when you watch Seinfeld, it's like that's who
she is.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus is. And you guys have similar qualities. You know why? Because you're a great friend to the male form. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah, because sometimes men, I think even they tend to hang out like at sports bars and stuff. Like I just want to be around dudes, and like women, you guys do whatever you guys do in the bathroom together. Right. But it's like sometimes you can have somebody that kind of crosses over, and it's like, oh yeah, no, they can come hang out in our social circle, and I think that you have that card.
I've been to a few Buffalo Wild Wings in my day.
You're welcome.
I'm so glad I got that invite.
Well, I mean, when we were doing Three's Too Much, it was right across the street.
I know it was. It was just a hop and a skip away.
Yeah, and at the time we taped Three's Too Much, in the middle of the day, I already missed my nap.
Yeah.
Might as well get to the drinking.
Might as well get fucked up.
Might as well get a happy hour early.
You know what's funny is I was on the road with Bo Burnham once, and after the show, I think we did like a college or something, a theater for a college, and then there was a Buffalo Wild Wings by the hotel. It was like the only thing open. We went, and I was so excited. I knew the menu so well because of all the times I had gone with you guys. I was like giving him all the pointers, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, I've been to a Buffalo Wild Wings. It's a popular chain restaurant.
It's just like, I mean, again, it's no Daryl's, but it's pretty good.
I mean, Daryl's, I've got to get to a Daryl's.
They went the way of Fox Books.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think they're all closed. I'll check on it, though. There used to be another East Coast chain called Steak and Ale. That was kind of like Daryl's. It was really, really, really good. Mm-hmm. At least from what I remember from having my 6th grade birthday party there.
I mean, it sounds fantastic.
I went to Steak and Ale, and I was during my fettuccine Alfredo phase, and I had the best fettuccine Alfredo I'd ever had up to that point, which was pretty much that versus Olive Garden.
Oh my God! I mean, what a young little fettuccine connoisseur you were.
You know, they're bringing back the Never Ending Pasta Bowl, and I haven't been to Olive Garden in easily 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
I might have to do it again.
I went in New York with some friends for some like unlimited breadsticks and salad.
Well, that's where you go to eat Italian.
Yeah. As an Italian myself, that's where we go.
My name's Marino. I know where to go in this city.
I know the good
Little
stuff.
Italy, that's for tourists.
Yeah, no thank you.
Let's
Olive
go to
Garden, Times Square. Okay, wait. Let's get into some more creep into the holiday season movies, because I came across a debate last night, which I'm sure we must have had last year, but I forget what your answer was. The Holiday versus what's it called?
The Holiday, where
The Holiday,
where Kate and Cameron switch.
Yes, or versus God, what's it called? Love Actually.
Jesus
That's how little
Christ.
respect I have for that movie.
I was gonna say, my God. You know what's so funny about that question, though?
What?
Because this is how podcasting works. After your episode at the Rotten Tomatoes Studios, we had Tony Baker come in to talk about The Family Man, the Christmas movie.
Sure.
And so we were talking about the Christmas movies we watch. And the two movies that my mom and I watch at Christmas is we watch Love Actually for the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Like, we make fun of the cringe moments.
Yeah.
And then there's some great storylines. Like the stuff with Billy Nye is
it's great.
And so we hate watch it, but we also really get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
And then, like, the movie we actually really enjoy watching is The Holiday.
Yeah.
They're both fantastic watches for separate reasons.
Yeah, I'm shitting on it unnecessarily. I love Hugh Grant. I love Billy Bob Thornton. I like a lot of things about Love Actually, but for me, it is a no-brainer. I wrote on this post, all caps, The Holiday. Anyone who says otherwise is unwell. I wrote that in all caps on this survey, so I made my opinion very known. But I think The Holiday has it over Love Actually.
I would have
no
your back
question.
on that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, as a better movie.
Right?
Hands down, because Love Actually, it's fine as its own piece because I get what it is, but it also so easily can devolve into those like New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day. Gary Marshall's an all-time great director, and he just feels like getting a couple quick paychecks.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I get what you're doing here. That was one of the first to do it in the modern era.
Right.
But The Holiday is just like a really neat premise.
It's so
and
fun.
Great character popping in and out the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's actually something that gets you ingratiated into the holiday season.
Yeah.
And it's one of those rare movies where it's like, all right, if I met the female version of Jude Law, and she happened to come with a couple kids.
Yeah.
I could suck it up for 10 years until these animals get out on their own.
I could suck something else. I was like, wow. Jude Law is gorgeous.
All right, you can take us out if you need to, but I'm going to play the tomatoes game because I don't know the answer. Do you want to guess if The Holiday or Love Actually is higher on the tomato meter?
I'm going to guess that Love Actually is higher because I think it feels a little more pretentious and people think it's better because of that.
I'm going to say, again, it was before that run of movies kind of copycatting it, and so I think critics warmed to that one more.
Yes.
I'm still just going to give it to The Holiday because I think it's such a better movie.
I agree, and I hope it's The Holiday, but for some reason, I feel like Love Actually, I mean, there are a lot of Love Actually stands out there. No disrespect. Again, I love it. I think there are really great moments. It's just so many different storylines to get invested in, and I don't fully invest in any of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's the people that swear by how great of a holiday movie it is where I'm like, back off, Tiger.
Yeah. Like,
have you seen A Christmas Carol?
Yeah, exactly.
Can we not compare this to Garfield's Christmas?
Exactly. Please. Have you seen
so,
Son-in-Law? Get out of here. If you haven't seen Son-in-Law, get the fuck out.
Okay, so Love Actually is setting the bar.
Okay.
It's the clubhouse leader.
Okay.
64% on the tomato meter.
Okay.
So we have some wiggle room here.
Okay.
Okay, but here's the caveat. We did The Holiday on Rotten Tomatoes is Wrong. We did an episode on The Holiday 2 years ago.
Okay.
And so we wouldn't have done an episode on it if it was like 95%.
Okay, great.
So let's see what.
Oh, I'm so nervous. It's so good.
Yeah, that's not going to be it. It's just called The Holiday, right?
Yeah, it's just The Holiday.
So goddamn hard to find.
It's going to be great, though.
All right, I'm searching for Kate Winslet.
Oh, God, Kate. She's so good. And Jude is great. Jack Black is great. He plays like a little bit of a more subtle character than he normally does.
He's awesome, yeah. And that just adorable old guy.
Oh, my God, I love him.
Who you knew was such an executive creep back in the day.
Yeah,
but now
for
he's
sure.
old. He's fine.
He would have been Me Too'd in 2 seconds.
He's harmless.
He's so cute.
Yeah. All right, I'm trying to kill time here. My God. Kate Winslet. Are we getting another Mayor of Easttown?
Oh, God. I would love it.
I just want to hear her say Woodard more. That's honestly the reason I need it.
I went to a screening or like a panel, I think it was a SAG panel of Mayor of Easttown because I voted on the SAG Awards I was on like the committee a couple years ago, and
nice.
She came in via Zoom and did the mayor accent live on Zoom for us, and it was I can die happy now.
She did?
She did. She did the accent. She did water. I heard Wooder in
Holy
live.
crap.
Did we get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love Actually wins.
Really?
64% to The Holiday's 50%. It's a rotten movie.
That is such bullshit. But
according to the tomato meter.
It's because people they think like things that make you feel happy and good are like cheesy and bad.
They always use the word cheesy, and I'm like, have you tried cheese?
Yeah.
I know you haven't had it in a while, but it's delicious.
And vegan cheese is delicious.
It's great.
It's great.
Yes. Have you had schmaltz? What a fun, celebratory kind of word schmaltz is. Like, hey, you want to get on the dance floor and do the schmaltz?
Yes.
That's fun.
I'll schmaltz all day.
See?
That's bullshit.
Want to schmaltz all day.
With you. Yes. Oh my God.
Kiss sings their hits, holiday style. You guys like schmaltz out there? Gene Simmons choking up blood, lighting shit on fire.
Oh my God. All right. We have to wrap up in a second, but I did want to very quickly do something important. So Brad Pitt, this is a little off, it's on the topic of movies. Guys, let us know what your Thanksgiving movie is. Let us know if Son-in-Law is your movie. Let us know.
Or if you're wrong.
Yeah, or if you're wrong. Let us know Holiday or Love Actually. Guys, email, comment, whatever. But Britney Spears came out with her memoir.
Yes.
Brad Pitt and Reese Witherspoon are allegedly gunning to get the rights to make it into a movie, which will be a fantastic movie. Who do you think would be good to play Britney Spears?
Oh my gosh, I've thought about this for a while now.
Okay.
And I think I have my answer.
Okay.
And because I saw this person play such a great version of a Britney Spears character in a movie.
Okay.
So do you want me to go first, or do you want to go, or do you want to say it at the same time?
I don't think it's the same. We're saying the same person.
Okay.
But same time.
Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Margot Robbie. Anna Faris.
Yeah.
I would die. Also, a holiday movie. Look at that.
Yeah.
Just Friends.
There you go. She is so good.
She is.
As an exact, like Britney's heightened version of a pop star like Britney was in Just Friends. It's the movie's great. She steals the movie.
I think she steals the whole movie. I love Just Friends. I rewatched it last year. Len and Lorna loved Just Friends. We were dying laughing. I did go Margot Robbie because I feel like if it's produced by like Reese or Brad, they're gonna go with like A-list. Not that, I mean,
yeah.
Anna,
what are you trying to say about
Anna's on my A-list
about
always.
my show pony here?
Okay, Anna has been on my A-list since Scary Movie. I just think she's the most brilliant. She can do no wrong in my eyes. But I think they would maybe go more because it has a lot of really heavy parts to it.
And if you told me before the movie came out that Margot Robbie's going to be playing Tanya Harding, I'd be like, good luck with that.
Exactly.
Worked out okay.
Yeah. So I think Margot would be a good Britney because she's fantastic. She's gorgeous.
Well, they should do it like that Bob Dylan movie that they did where it's like 6 different people. And like Cate Blanchett did a version of Bob Dylan, like playing Bob in different phases of his life. Have Britney's come in and play different phases of Britney's life.
So maybe Anna could play like the slave for you era, and then when we get into the more traumatic parts of her life, Margot could come in and handle like the heavier acting.
I'm not as familiar with the particular eras as you might be, but I remember Britney Spears being pretty famous.
She was.
I remember her kissing Madonna.
Yeah, you remember.
And everybody made such a big deal of it, but then it's like nobody talked about Madonna, then went immediately over to Christina Aguilera and made out with her the same length, and people didn't bat an eye at that.
No, Christina got really shafted during that makeout session.
God, what a voice on her, too.
And the cover of the magazine was like her and it was Britney and Madonna.
Yeah, it's like Aguilera was there the whole time.
Right there.
She wasn't up there filming them. She was part of the show.
She was part of the show. She had black hair and like a spray tan. She was doing it.
It's good to see Britney. I mean, just like after all these years, really setting the record straight.
Yeah. No,
we'll say.
I'm happy. And you guys know I cannot shut up about this memoir. It is so good. It is incredible. I cannot recommend it
But Justin, good luck with your Trolls movie.
Yeah, Justin,
good luck.
best of luck.
Good luck. Yeah.
Mark, thank you so much. Where can everyone find you? And remind us one more time where we can find your special.
The new special, Alive and Well, you can find it on YouTube on All Things Comedy's channel. You can also now listen to it wherever you put stuff in your ears. Just type in Mark Ellis, Alive and Well, and I'll be in Florida for Thanksgiving. Nobody out there is necessarily invited, but thanks for your interest.
Yeah.
And I'll be in Seattle telling jokes the December 22nd and 23rd at Comedy/Bar, so you can get tickets at markellis.live.
Amazing. And I will be in Janesville, Wisconsin on December 8th and 9th at the Comedy Cabin. You can get tickets in my Instagram bio.
I bet there's a place, because I want to go there at some point, so I bet there's a great donut place.
Oh,
in Janesville, Wisconsin.
I'm going to find it. I'm renting a car. I'm going to find it.
That's my girl.
Yep.
All right.
You guys, thank you so much. And happy Thanksgiving. Have a great holiday week. And let's get those deals on Friday, okay? Black Friday.
There's a movie called Black Friday starring Bruce Campbell and your boy Devin Sawa from 2011. It's like a zombie alien movie kind of thing, but it's like about Black Friday. So check out Black Friday.
I'm in. Okay, great. Bye.